I'm going to give it a minute to see if anybody is going to join. Try to get this angle better.
Sure.
So I'll introduce myself for whoever catches the replay. I'm ARHartie, blogger and joy strategist from chasing-joy.com. This is a bump date. I am 30 weeks pregnant today with baby number 2 as a single mom by choice. And just wanted to give you guys an update. I have not been having time. Let me rephrase. I have not felt like recording videos lately. But I do want to keep you guys updated. So let me try and go live and see what happens. Okay, I see somebody's watching with me. Say hi so I know who's watching. So we're gonna see how this goes with me going live in the evening. Baby Joy Chaser is home. Hey, you wanna say hi?
Hi.
You gotta come over. Come over.
Hi there. Hi there.
Come.
Maybe Kevin.
Okay, he's watching Mickey Mouse Clubhouse.
And we're collecting.
Come around
And we're collecting all the colors of the rainbow, so we can color all the rainbows.
Come around this way.
The colors of the Mickey Mouse Clubhouse is disappearing. Look.
Listen, come around to where I am so you can stop hitting the camera. So we will see how this goes with me going live with him around. So yeah, I just wanted to give you guys an update. So things are going well. Things are still going well with me and with the baby. You guys saw the gender reveal video and like what happened after and all that good stuff, but it's confirmed.
Should you stop talking?
No, I can't stop talking because I'm doing the video. So confirmed it's the baby girl. Oh, and now I have my my video editing partner. Buttercup has not missed the update. She said she's not gonna miss this one either. And say hello. Say hi, people. She said she's not gonna miss it either. All right, so this is already a little bit eventful. I don't even remember how many weeks I was in my last bump date, but I'll say I'll do highs and lows over the last few weeks. So the lows, I'll start with the lows because there's always more to complain about, right? So I would say that the low, probably the low and the high, would be my last doctor's appointments, which were last week. So the reason I said it's the low and the high, it was the high because I got to have an ultrasound and I got to see the baby and everything looked good. She was estimated at about 3 pounds, I think 5 ounces, and 67th percentile. Hey, Boston girl. 67th percentile. So they, I have the gestational.
Too much talking.
I'm doing the video. Baby Joy Chaser said I'm doing too much talking. Yeah, 30 weeks. It feels quick and also slow at the same time, right? Which is weird how it can feel both ways. But she's estimated at 3 pounds, 5 ounces, 67th percentile, with having the gestational diabetes and a history of having a birth with a shoulder dystocia, which is what happened with baby Joy Chaser. If you don't know what that is, it's basically when like the baby's head comes out but the shoulders get stuck. And you can go back and search my videos for me discussing my traumatic birth or delivery. I forgot what I called it. I'll try to tag it after this video post and I can go back and edit. But yeah, having that history, really trying to help, praying for a smaller baby. So, they're watching the weight closely. I'm having ultrasounds every month to check her weight. So she's 67 percentile, which is not bad. And it was actually down from the previous ultrasound. Yes, I see you, Boston girl, in the chat. Um, because the previous ultrasound for weight check, I think she was 70 something percentile. So that's good. They said they get nervous when it's around 90. So the ultrasound was good. So that felt like a high point. It always feels good to see the baby, and I was like relieved that she wasn't like already like really big where they were concerned. So the down part of the appointment was, I don't want to say the doctor, well, it was actually the nurse practitioner this time. I don't want to say it was her attitude because she was very, very pleasant, very nice. She didn't have like poor bedside manner or anything, but like I'm well aware of all my risk factors. Like I know I'm over 40. I know I had IVF, though I'm not 100% sure why IVF automatically makes you a higher risk. I know I have the gestational diabetes. Like I'm aware of all these things. So some of the doctors, are just better at discussing the risk factors without making you feel really stressed out. And she just was not one of those. So basically what happened was my appointment went fine. Like my blood pressure was good. They measured me. They said my stomach measurement, I think it's called a fundal height or whatever, was a little bit ahead, but not to the point of being concerned. But basically everything was fine. They started with me doing urine samples. That was fine. So basically like no issues, no new issues that we don't already know about. But she was saying that, I've already now started every other week doctor's appointments because it's the third trimester. And then she said at 32 weeks, they're going to start with stress tests, which the maternal fetal medicine people had already told me because I'm on insulin now. So that might be new. I don't remember if I mentioned that in the last update. So I'm on insulin now for the gestational diabetes because my fasting numbers were just increasing. And that really doesn't have much to do with what you eat. It's about what your body is doing while you're sleeping and the hormones and stuff from the placenta. Hey, Boston girl. Hopefully you can hear me. Hopefully you guys can hear me talking, and I haven't like somehow screwed the video up. Let me know if you can hear me. Um, because I hope I don't do this whole video and there's like no sound. And you can give the video a thumbs up as well. But yeah, so she's like, okay, so you're going to start stress test at 32 weeks, and then at I forget how many weeks you start having weekly appointments. So I'm like, so that means if I'm having stress tests, so my question was, instead of doing the stress test, can I do the once a week ultrasound thing? I think they're called biophysical tests. And she was like, because they were doing that at the beginning of COVID, so the people weren't coming in so often. So I was hoping to be able to do that. So she was like, well, I don't think so because of your risk factors. She said, but I'll go check with the doctor and come back. So she left and came back. All this lady, and I was saying to her because with twice a week stress tests, every other week, and then eventually weekly doctor's appointment and monthly ultrasounds. That means some weeks there's going to be 4 appointments for me, and I'm still working. And whatever time I take off from work now is time that I'm not going to be able to be paid for to use when the baby is here. So it's a fine balancing act. So I never said I wasn't going to do what they said. I was just expressing why I was asking them if the once a week bio, whatever it is, bio, whatever ultrasounds could be done. So she goes, checks with the doctor. All she had to say when she came back was, the doctor strongly feels like with your risk factors, they want to see you twice a week. And I would have said, okay. But no, she says, because of your risk factors, then she has to list them off. You know, you're over 40, you have the gestational diabetes, you did IVF, and because of all those things, at any moment, your baby could become unhappy. So it's better for us to be checking every 3 to 4 days versus once every 7 days. And it's like I get that, like, but nobody needs to hear the sentence, your baby can become unhappy at any moment, because that just makes you feel super stressed. And you know that's like code language for saying like you could lose your baby or something. So, you know, it put a damper on the whole appointment when really the appointment was fine. Like the ultrasound was good, everything with me is good, no new issues. So I should have left there feeling relieved, like, okay, another good appointment. But instead, you leave there with this thought in your mind, like any moment your baby can become, you know, unhappy. You could lose your baby. So, you know, that just was really like a bummer and definitely made me feel really stressed. And then trying to like schedule all these appointments, and I was able to schedule like the first few stress tests because they're like, you know, if you schedule them now, you have more time, more flexibility with the scheduling. So I scheduled like the first week of stress test, and then the next day, a scheduler called. She was really, really nice, and we actually um, went through the time, you know, me looking at my calendar, my work calendar, and all that, and scheduled out all of my appointments through the rest of pregnancy, the ultrasounds, the doctor's appointments, the stress test. She's really nice, but it's just like really stressful. And so I hung up from the scheduler the next day. I go, you know, I'm still working from home. I go out to Wawa to get something to lunch and something for lunch. And on the way back, I start having a racing heart incident. So you guys might know from previous videos, occasionally I have these heart palpitations. They started when I was pregnant, baby Joy Chaser. They happen a few times a year, more prone to happen with pregnancy because they're basically hormonal. I've had my heart checked. There's nothing wrong. My heart's good. I see a cardiologist. I'm going to see a cardiologist again in a couple weeks because he wanted to see me before it's time to deliver. So, you know, I'm like, it's no coincidence that after this lady made me stressed, then the stress of scheduling these all appointments, now I'm having like the heart palpitation thing. And hold on, guys. I think I need to fix the TV for Baby Joy Chaser. You want Mickey Mouse again? Hey, you want Mickey Mouse again or you want this? Okay, maybe he's going to watch this. He's watching Mickey Mouse Clubhouse on YouTube. So the heart palpitations, like I took the medicine I have, but being pregnant, I can only take so much of it. You know, and I would take it like every half hour or hour. And the last time I had the palpitations was February, and it was within 2 hours, it was back to normal. They don't hurt. They just, it's just it's uncomfortable and annoying. So I just got to the point where I was like, I'm going to have to go into labor and delivery because I don't want to take too much more of this medicine, and I need this to stop. And I had called my cousin, so she came over. Hey, Rachel Faith. And was prepared to be here with Baby Joy Chaser so I could go. And I was on the phone, on hold with the doctor's office when it stopped. It always makes you feel silly when you're on, like, about to hold, you know, call about a medical issue and it goes away. But, you know, I still left a message, and the on-call doctor called back. And, you know, he just was like, I did the right thing by calling. And if the palpitations came back and they didn't stop, to come on in. But, you know, I'm already being treated for them. I already have medicine. So if they stop, it's fine for me. So end up not going in. But that was just like a really rough couple of days between the annoying appointment and then the palpitations, which I definitely think was stress related. Yeah, so that's what I was saying. Like, you know, I'm glad she was a nurse practitioner, so she won't be the person, who be there when I'm delivering. Um, but like over the pregnancy, you see all of the doctors in the practice so that when you go into labor, it's not a stranger. And some of them, like none of them are terrible. Like none of them are mean. None of them like fat shame me or anything like that. But just some are better at discussing the risk factors in a way that makes you feel like we can handle this and that we're monitoring the right things versus some who make you feel panicked. Yes, Mickey Mouse.
Yeah.
That's what I was asking you. He does. He wants Mickey Mouse back. Come around and you can say hi. You want to talk?
A color adventure.
Why do you go the long way?
Because I want to go on the color adventure. Because
Say hi. You say hi.
hey, today we're collecting all the colors of the rainbow.
You got a dirty face. You got Ronies on your face.
Why?
Because that's what you were eating.
That's how. I can't go.
So anyway, that was definitely like the low point over the last couple of weeks. Just the bummer, that appointment being a bummer, and the palpitations. So the high point definitely was the ultrasound, seeing the baby, and she looked good. Let's see. Other high points, I've been buying a few more baby things. I got my breast pump. That was the other thing. I ordered my free breast pump from insurance. I ended up picking oh my gosh. I want to say Motif Luna. I forgot. I think that's what it was. I still have all my breast pumps, so I was sorting through my stuff, and I have 3 breast pumps already from when I was pregnant with him. I have an Amida, I have the Spectra, and the Lancino. The Spectra is what I use most. And from like I did a poll in I think there was the Single Mom by Choice group, the Mocha Single Mom by Choice group on Facebook. Somebody was asking the same question about which breast pump. And so I joined in the comments there, and seems like the Spectra is still what people like the best. So I'm glad I still have that. But I got the new breast pump that's free from insurance. So that was good. Yeah, so those are like the highs and the lows. I've been for symptoms that I've been having. Yes. For symptoms I've been having, just feeling more physically tired and, not sleeping through the night. I wake up twice to pee every night. I usually wake up around 2 and I wake up again around 4. So definitely interrupted sleep. And I was like, oh yeah, I forgot that your body does this. So I think that's, Mother Nature's way of preparing you for not sleeping when baby comes. So I see some of you guys' comments. I'm sorry, I got my finger in the camera. Did I set up a room for baby girl? Not yet. So here's my initial plan. So she's gonna be in a room with me. So I do have my bassinet set up, my bedside. I have the Halo bassinet. It was a whole thing getting this thing. I had to take it almost all apart to like rewash everything, but I did. Found a YouTube video about how to take it apart, put it back together. I think I put it back together like 95% right, but I heard a screw rattling around, but it's still sturdy. Like I shook it, leaned on it. It's good. It'll hold a baby without a problem. So I already have that set up and next to my bed. I got my car seat all washed, took the covering off that wash. I have it in the car and set up so I can. Yes, he's putting on his glasses. Come show them. You want to show them your glasses? They're sunglasses, not real glasses. But so I have the car seat and the bassinet. So I'm like, okay, I can get her home from the hospital, and I have a place for her to lay down, a place for her to sleep. So that's the bare minimum. So But if I feel like if I get anything else done, it'll be a bonus. Um, so that's good. So my plan is she'd be in a room with me in the bassinet, and in the I had a travel bassinet for him that just like went on top of the bed. And if I can ever get my brother over here or my nephews to get the rest of the baby stuff out of the attic, I'll get the one that I have washed, and that'll be it. So she'll be in my room for a while. And baby Joy Chase's birthday is in the next few days. He will be 4. I can't believe it. He's getting bunk beds. So I'm going to leave, depending on how this goes, when they set up the bunk beds and I can really see how big they are, how big it is. But if it goes how I think, I'm going to leave the crib in there with him, and I'm going to keep them in the same room for a while. Because I still want to be able to use my guest room for a bit. And to answer your question, Boss Girl, no, my niece is not with me anymore. She moved out back in September. So it's just been me and baby Joy Chaser. So it'll just be the 3 of us. But my aunt, one of my aunts that I go visit in Maryland a few times a year, is going to come here. And the plan is she's going to stay with me for probably a couple weeks after the baby is born. So she'll be in the guest room. And I just want to have access to the guest room for as long as it makes sense, so that if I do need someone to come over and help, or a babysitter to come spend the night, that there's a room for an adult and not just like 2 kids' rooms. So that'll be the plan for a while, until I feel like they're too big to be in the same room, or if it just doesn't end up working out. Because the main thing I've learned from parenting, things never, ever, ever go how you think they're going to go. So I'm sure this will be no different. But that's my plan for now. So no, I haven't set up a whole like nursery for her. But I did get my guest room and baby Joy Chase's rooms painted while we were on our little vacation back in March. We went to Hershey, PA for a few days. So I had the handyman come and do that while we were going. So the rooms look really nice. So if I do decide to go ahead and really make that her room, it'll be really nice. And I'll just, once I put the crib in there and whatever bedding. But then I have to figure out what to do with the full-size bed that's in there. So, but anyway, I'll cross that hurdle when I get to it. But yeah, so I got the breast pump. The bassinet set up. The car seat is set up. I've been going through baby Joy Chaser's old clothes, seeing what can be used for a girl. And it's a lot easier to go from boy to girl than girl to boy, because a lot of the blues and stuff she could wear. A lot of the things she'll be able to wear, hand-me-downs. But I bought a few cute things. That of course I don't have down here with me. Hopefully I can get it together and do like a proper recording and like have everything I need to show you guys next time. But I just don't want to leave y'all hanging with like no updates for weeks at a time. Symptoms I've been having, just like physically feeling run down by the end of the day. Like by the time it's time for him to go to bed, for example, like tonight, we should probably be getting ready for bed right now. I don't feel like it. So if there's no school, he's been staying up a little longer than he should, just because I haven't felt, energetic to get started with the bedtime routine. So by the time he goes to bed and I sit down, I'm like, whoo, like pooped. Just physically. My feet have been swelling. I bought some compression socks off Amazon, but I was like, I don't think these worked. So I don't know if I got the right thing or if I need to get like some medical grade ones, because I felt like my feet and my ankles still swelled in them. But I know that's normal. And I was talking to the doctor about it. Not the annoying one, the one from the previous appointment. And she was like, yeah, and then as the temperatures get warmer, that'll kind of exacerbate the swelling as well. So that's the main symptoms, just swelling and feeling kind of run down and general tired, like not sleeping as well. But I've been waking up before my alarm, which is why I know I said this is just my body preparing for a baby to get here, where I'm gonna just be sleeping in these like increments versus all night. Um, Going to the bathroom a lot. This little girl is sitting very, very low in my pelvis, and I'll try to at the end when I'm done talking, I'll try to go to the mirror and give you guys a little bump date. Um, but she sits very low on my pelvis, and she has been head down for weeks, at least over a month or two. So my sister-in-law said I'm carrying lower than I was with him. But because she's so low, like she's literally on my bladder like all the time. So it seems like every time I stand up, I have to pee. And it's not like a lot comes out, but I think it's just because where she is. And I can actually, like, if I rest my hands sometime on my tummy and like on my arms like this, and depending on, I guess, where her butt or her feet are, I can actually feel her press down on my bladder from the weight of me like resting there. So that's a little annoying. She moves a lot, which is good. Um, Not like too much where it's like, oh my gosh, she never stops. Like it doesn't keep me up at night or anything, but it's reassuring, especially when nurse practitioners make statements like that can kind of freak you out. It's reassuring to see the movements. Um, so let's see. I'm looking at you guys' comments. Oh, thank you. Rachel Face said Baby Joy Chaser is so cute and smart and such a big boy. I can't believe he's going to be 4. I was texting with my friends today. Like, I really cannot believe he's going to be 4. I have mixed feelings. Sometimes I feel sad. Like, oh, he's getting too big. Like, I wish he could stay little. But then I'm glad he's not little because I would never want twins. God bless Sandra and her 2 bundles of joy that came the end of last year. It's a lot. And I don't have the support systems in place for that. I technically feel like I don't have the support systems in place for my current kid and the one that's coming, but I don't know. Such is life. We're making it happen. Yeah, Boston Girl said she hates when they're negative at appointments. I know. It was just, she could have just chose better wording. Like, I just didn't need to have that sentence in my head. And yes, I'm on insulin, so I'm giving myself insulin injections now, which aren't too bad. I mean, once you've done IVF and progesterone shots, it's almost like what's another needle. um, I feel a little relieved with the insulin. Like, okay, maybe hopefully this will help with keeping her from growing, too big too fast. Because I am not doing great with the diet. I don't know. I feel like my life is too stressful. And it's mostly work. It's not being a mom. Granted, being a mom is very stressful, but it's not being a mom or being a single mom right now. Work is very, very challenging. Work has been really hard since before I was pregnant. Just this last 9 months of work has been just extremely difficult, and I am counting down the days until maternity leave. I decided that June 16th is going to be my last day that I log on for work. Um, and I actually counted it yesterday, like how many more work days, and it's like 30 something work days. Like, okay, I can do this. I can make it. The work has been extremely stressful, and I am a stress eater, an emotional eater, so I have been struggling um, to not do too many carbs and being exhausted from work and trying to figure out what to cook. And then I cooked last night and I felt really good about my meal, but then my blood sugars were too high. So I was like, man, I would have had lower blood sugar if I would have just ordered some chicken wings from the Chinese store. Um, but anyway, I digress. So being on the insulin, I do feel like it's an extra kind of precaution or cushion there, helping me out. Because I've definitely not been perfect with this diet. So yeah, I am taking a needle. The needle is really small. It's 4 millimeter and it's in a pen. Actually, I can show you because I need to take one out. I'll be right back. I'm back. So I'm glad we started talking about it because I was actually supposed to take one out tonight and I probably would have forgot. So this is what it looks like. It's a pen. Make sure it's nothing on here that says my name, all my personal info. No. So this is a pen. I'm taking Basaglar. That might be, I don't know if it's backwards, upside down for you guys. But it really looks like a pen. You open it. This is the insulin, the clear part. And then a needle goes on this end. There's no needle on it now. A little teeny needle. And then it has a dial. And if you can see their numbers. And so first you put it on 1 and you press it just to make sure that because the needle is so little that sometimes they won't really be opened. So you have to test to make sure that the needle is open for the insulin to come out. You test and then you turn the dial. I'm not going to turn it now to whatever your units are. So they started me on 10 units. That wasn't enough. They bumped me up to 16. That was not enough. They bumped me to 20. So this is now my 4th week. 20. And my numbers were much improved with 20. So I was feeling good about it. Only a couple days were off. And then they bumped me to 24. So I thought it was going to be perfect. And then this week, back to not being great. So it is a bit challenging. And as you go, your placenta kind of works harder and does a poorer job. Or I don't know if I'm saying that right. Your placenta's starts working harder. And because of that, the hormones create more insulin resistance. So it's not uncommon for them to I think they say call it like chasing the numbers. So I feel like we're chasing the numbers a little bit, which I don't like. But I'd rather be chasing the numbers than not. And so that's that. But that's what it looks like. It's really a pen, so it's not so bad. Like I said, especially when she's done like IVF and progesterone injections and stuff. So yes, I am doing the needle. Let me see what else were you guys asking. Yeah, I already told you my niece moved. And yeah, I did hear about that formula shortage. I don't know the details of that, but I did hear about that, and I do plan to buy the pre-made little bottles because I use that with him just in case I have issues. But I am praying that I have a better experience with breastfeeding this time. And because I feel like I know more. I feel like I was months and months into it by the time and I'm going to credit Single Mother SMBC. I think that was just the name of her channel, Single Mother by Choice Martine, because she had her baby after I had baby Joy Chaser, and I was watching one of her videos, and she was talking about how in her after her labor, the nurse started like squeezing her breast, but it like helped with the milk, and then the way that she described it, I realized it kind of taught me how to hand express. Like that lactation people in that hospital were not great. So that was my only complaint about my hospital stay with him, was the lactation people. So like I know how to hand express now. I know more about the pump, how to pump and the flange and all that. So I hope that my knowledge will help me to get off to a better start. But I know fed is best. So I am planning to buy some of those little bottles, just in case, because that helped me out a lot in the beginning. Then I had like the powder and everything. But in the beginning, like, you know, you're so tired and everything else. Just having those pre-made bottles was a help. So I am planning to buy that. But yeah, I heard about this formula shortage and that seems real stressful. So another reason I'm hoping that the breastfeeding works. Yeah, a few cans can hurt. Fed is best. Like, I was very proud of myself for I stuck with it with him for I think 8 or 9 months. Exclusive pumping. He would not nurse from me because it came out too slow, and it was very challenging, very challenging. But I was happy to be able to, I felt like kind of best of both worlds. He was getting enough to eat because of the formula, but then he was getting some of the immuno whatever immunity and things that are the benefits of the breast milk from me pumping. Um, so it was hard, but I felt like it was all to his benefit. And I think he's turned out awesome so far. So I'm hoping for a better experience. But yes, having some formula on hand is definitely not a bad thing. Rachel Faith said she heard the same thing. I think you're probably talking about the formula. My aunt that's coming is my dad's sister. So funny thing, or I don't know if it's funny, but interesting fact about me, my I don't really know the people on my mom's side of the family. I knew them when I was a kid, but her side just wasn't very close. And so just have not really been in touch with them. And then some of like my mom was the youngest. So I know her older sister had kids who were like my mom's age or just a little younger. I could have walked past these people and I would not have known them as my family members. The only one person on my mom's side that I'm close to is my cousin, who's actually baby Joy Chaser's godmom, and we didn't really connect like that until adulthood. But that was just like a blessing that we connected and we got along and have, similar mindsets and all that. And she's real great. Godmom for him will be godmom for this baby. But that's it on my mom's side. So whenever I'm talking about my family, distant family members, all my dad's side. His side was extremely close. So my aunt who's coming is one of my dad's sisters. Um, yeah. Family dynamics are like so interesting. Get a day bed. So I already have a bed in that room. So I'm not sure how it's all going to play out. Like if I end up putting her in there while she's still in the crib, it'll probably be the crib in there and that full size bed. Because like, what else would I do with the full size bed? It's still in good condition. What I'm guessing is going to happen maybe in a few years. Some of my other nieces and nephews, they're all young adults and they'll be moving out and getting places. Then maybe I'll give one of them the bed and then like make that into the second kid room at that point. But I'm gonna cross that bridge whenever I get to it. I know. I've seen the beds. They have the trundles that can come up and make it a full. Yeah, I'm gonna Boss Girl says send a wish list for Amazon. I think I linked to it in the last video. I'll link to it. I have a Target and an Amazon registry, so I'll share those in the What did you do? You have all those crumbs on the floor. We have a popcorn situation. What happened? You're playing with the popcorn? He was trying to juggle popcorn. Okay, you gotta clean all that up. Put it in the trash. Yes, please. Clean up your crumbs. That made me forget what I was talking about. Oh, so I'll link the registries and the description of this video once I'm done. But I have Amazon and Target. I don't have a lot of big things on there because most of the things I'm able to reuse, but I did put a wagon on there. So I think I was saying this in the other live, but we went on a play date with one of Baby Joy Chaser's friends who used to go to his daycare, and they have a little sister. And so the mom had this wagon, and she was able to put she was able to put him, her son, my son, and her daughter all in that wagon. And she was like, yeah, you're going to want a wagon because you'll be out and your bigger one will seem like they're okay. But then at some point while you're out, they're going to decide they don't want to walk anymore. And you can just put them both in the wagon. And she had a Jeep wagon that was really nice. But when I went through my baby stuff, my car seat is a baby trend. So I went with the wagon that has the connector for the baby trend, because you could put the car seat attachment thing on the wagon. So that's like the main big thing that I have on there, on the registry. Everything else is just like a lot of girl stuff, diapers, wipes, like some hair bows and different things. I'm nervous about doing a little girl's hair. I see Boston Girl post about, hair days sometimes. I'm like, oh my gosh, because I get my hair done. I don't even do my own hair. So I'm like, eventually the hair bill is going to be crazy at some point. So I have to learn some, basics or relearn from when I used to, I guess, play with dolls. But it is kind of exciting to be able to do like little hair bows and dresses and stuff. Trying to think, was there anything else interesting on the registry? That wagon was really the most interesting thing because that's something I had not considered. Stop throwing things at all. Okay, give it to me. Can't throw. We've been struggling to stop throwing things in the house. But yeah, that wagon was like the most interesting thing. I'm going to try baby wearing more this time. I didn't really do that with him. Like I had a couple carriers, but I did register for one of those fabric kind. Like I think I'll try that. Because I do remember him having a phase where he didn't want to be put down. And it's one thing for him to not want to be put down when there was no other kid around. But if she doesn't want to be put down, but I still have to tend to him, I'm like, okay, baby wearing is probably going to be helpful. So hopefully that'll work out. So that's different than what I had on his registry. But I put a lot of stuff on there just because, you want those completion discounts on things you might buy later. And if any, for the people who will decide to buy something, I think it's nice to give people lots of options. I know if I go with someone's registry, I like seeing a lot of choices of things they might want. So, but that wagon is like the most interesting thing because I had not thought about that at all. Thank you, JB. She says, hey, Arlette, congratulations. I am planning to take like 6 months of leave. And I really might use all of it. For Baby Joy Chaser, I had planned for 6 months. I went back in 5. But my work is way more stressful now. So, and, they had passed. I'm a government worker. I work for a Department of Defense as my day job. And they finally gave us some paid maternity leave. So I actually would get, paid for some of that versus having to use all my leave and sick leave. So that definitely allows me to be able to take longer. So my plan will be to go back in January. in the new year. God willing, that works out. I probably have to still take some leave without pay. Like, my pay coming in will be less than if I were working, but I should be able to work it out where I have some paychecks coming regularly during that time. But yeah, 6 months, and I can't wait. I mean, I know from maternity leave the first time that being a stay-at-home mom is not my ministry. um, but like I said, things have been so stressful at work. Get there, you're gonna break that. That I am looking forward to just being able to focus on being a mom for a while. Um, if you break it, you're gonna be sad. He's I'll show you. He's trying to. Oh wait, I don't even know how to flip this thing. Oh, he has his basketball court on the floor and was stepping on it. Anyway, but yeah, something 6 months. It's a real blessing. I know so many people can't do that. Some people can't even take 6 weeks, which is just crazy. The way our systems here are in this country. Who's going to the hospital with me? So the plan is that my cousin, who I was talking about before, who is the kid's godmom, she will be at the hospital with me. Baby Joy Chaser is going to go to my brother's house and stay there for a few days until I can come home. And then when I come home, my aunt will come. She'll either come while I'm in the hospital or come right when I'm coming home. She is older. You would never know that she's like almost 80. You would think she was like in her 50s. Like, she's extremely, extremely like active and well, but she's still almost 80. So I didn't really want her to be taking care of baby Joy Chaser while I was in the hospital. Just the two of them, because then I feel like I'll be worried about them. Like, well, what if something happened to her, or what if like he plays rough sometimes, or if he like knocked her down, and just all the different crazy thoughts that would probably never happen. But my brother and sister-in-law were already preparing for him to stay there. We go there frequently. He has fun there. My nephews are there. He'll have more fun at their house. And then when I come home, she'll be there. Why are you yelling? Because is a car. He's a car? Oh. So that'll be the plan. And then she'll be here with us. She said for me to tell her how long. I'm praying that it'll just be a couple weeks. I'm praying that I don't have have to have a C-section, that this baby continues to not be too big, and that I'm able to push her out. But I won't be deciding on that until we're closer to delivery. I'm assuming that I'll get induced if I don't go into labor on my own by around 39 weeks, because with me now being on insulin, when I was pregnant with him and on insulin, I was only on insulin with him for the last couple weeks, but I know they induced me at 39 weeks and 2 days. I'm praying that I can go into labor on my own at 38 weeks. That's what I'm praying for. 38 weeks. And because hopefully she won't be as big as him and I can push her out. Even though he wasn't very big, he was 8 pounds 4 ounces, but he did have the broad shoulders, which got stuck. And I've now learned that part of gestation diabetes is like their bellies and their bodies grow too big. So hopefully there's no C-section, and then she could just be here for a couple weeks while we kind of get acclimated and into whatever our life as a family of 3 will look like, and then she can be on her way. I am not used to living with people. My niece lived with me for a while, and that was challenging. That was a challenging couple of years. It had a lot of perks there. My son loved her. They have a nice bond. He actually called her on the phone. He went to talk to her, and they had like a 30-minute conversation. So definitely was a lot of blessings in her staying, but it was not easy for me. I don't like sharing a space. When I got out of college, I was like, I am not having a roommate till I get a husband, and I don't have a husband yet, so I don't really want a roommate. So definitely, have mixed. I'm thankful she wants to come, and I'm appreciative of the help because I do feel like I probably should have had more help when I had him, but I didn't know. I didn't know to ask for it, and we still made out just fine. And now, I kind of put it out there that I'll need help, especially with two, and she says she's willing. Um, so, but that'll be good because I know my cousin who will be with me when I'm in labor, like she works full time, so she'll have to go back to work. Whereas my aunt, who's still working by choice, she's a retired teacher who keeps coming out of retirement to help with schools. Well, not just retired teachers, a retired administrator. So she keeps coming out of retirement to help with these other schools. Um, but anyway, she won't be working in June. So at least that's the plan of right now. So she'll be able to come and stay. So my family really is helping. And I know I mentioned earlier, I feel like I didn't really have the support system that I really need. I still don't. I feel like developing a support system as a I won't even say just a single mom by choice. I'll just say as a solo parent because I've seen other single moms, whether it's by choice or not, having similar. It's just hard because everybody is busy and has their own life, and some people just aren't available. And it's like you gotta just constantly be searching and finding like babysitters is hard. It just costs so much money for paid help. And you're already covering all of your finances on your own. So it is definitely challenging and something to keep in mind for anybody who watches this who's thinking of um, building their family this way. But totally worth it. Like I'm not complaining saying like don't do it, but just know that building a support system is not always easy, just depending on your scenario. Like both my parents are deceased. I think if my mom hadn't have gotten sick, it'd probably be a completely different dynamic for me. But that was just not my story. So I don't have grandparents. Um, I only have one brother that I can count on who's very busy with his own 6 children, his his job, his 2 jobs really, and he's a pastor. Like he's a very busy life. So like they definitely help where they can, but it is challenging. But they are definitely trying to be supportive and planning to be there for us, around time for meeting on the labor. So that was a long-winded answer. Sorry guys. I was trying to see the chat and I don't know what I clicked on, but apologize. I'm back. Yeah, JB said, wow, that's nice, and paid maternity leave. Yeah, so the whole maternity leave is not paid, but the fact that a good part of it will be paid will definitely help. And then I'll use my time, my sick time and my vacation time for the rest. Okay. If Blessed Girl says her mom used to work for Department of Defense in Boston, but they moved the office to another state. Yeah, Philly has a few different a few different federal agencies, and I think most of the defense workers work where I work. It's an actual base. It's a small one, not like what you see on TV, but it is a military base. And JB says, yes, it's hard. I don't miss the daycare expense part. Yeah, I mean, it's the daycare expense. I mean, I'm very blessed. We get the daycare on my base is discounted. So I'm praying. That's another reason I'm taking 6 months because I know it might take a bit of time for a spot to open up for her, even though I've been on the list since the day I saw the positive pregnancy test. But that's another reason, like, because hopefully there'll be a spot for her, and I could do like I did with Baby Joy Chaser, whereas they had a spot for him right away. I was shocked. He was only a few weeks old. But I didn't take him till he was over 6 weeks. I took him maybe he was 2 months, but I took him for like a half a day, and I picked him up. And then I took him for the next week, maybe like a couple days. And then like eventually I would take him for like the whole week for only like a few hours each day. And then eventually I would left him there like all week, all day. And then I went back to work. So it made returning to work way easier than what I've seen a lot of other moms go through, because we were already used to the daycare. So I wasn't worried about him being there. It wasn't like brand new starting daycare and brand new being a working mom all in the same day. So I'm praying that that can work out similarly again. But the expense I was talking about is just like hiring babysitters. Like, if I want to go out with my friends, right? Say if I want to go out for 3 hours or 4 hours, just to like dinner or something, or to a movie with friends. The dinner and the movie is not that expensive, but like a babysitter, some of them want to be paid like $15 to $20 an hour. Which on the one hand, it's like, your child is like your most precious, possession. So like, of course, you would want to pay a good amount for someone to watch them. But then it's like, so I've already paid like $100 and I've not left my house just to go to dinner with friends. Like, it's a lot. Um, so I have not really found a regular babysitter. I found a regular babysitter, if you guys remember, like last year during COVID, I found somebody who could come in once a week, just because the daycare was still closed, and she would hang out with him on my busiest days, which were Thursdays, where I would have a lot of meetings, and that really cut the stress a lot. But we had a nice rate, but she was finishing up her master's program and starting her real career in social work. And she had an amazing work ethic, because she never really missed a day. I think only one time she got sick. But then she also got a second job. And it was just like, so she doesn't even have time to pick up like weekend hours or extra hours. So that's more what I was talking about. Like, if trying to find like a babysitter for like the weekend or stuff, could just be expensive when you don't have a family member who's, willing and ready. And I do have nieces and nephews, but like they have their own lives. Like, they're in sports, they're hanging out with friends. They're not really, the type that are like, oh, I want to make a bunch of money babysitting. My one niece, she will, but she's away at college right now. But she'll be graduating, at some point and stepping into her adult life. So the babysitter thing is really challenging. It just really is. And then I have my own issues with trusting people, so it's challenging. But that's what I was talking about for the most part with the finances. But yeah, daycare is not cheap, either. And then depending on what city you're in and what the school systems are like, right now, like I live in Philadelphia, our school systems are not great. Um, so my plan was for him to be going to some kind of private school anyway. I'm heavily leaning towards um, a Christian school, actually a Seventh-day Adventist Christian school, which is similar to what I went to when I was, I went for like middle school years. So the daycare expenses are not going to really go away from me. They're just going to turn into tuition expenses. And then I have to figure out the whole summer camp thing. Okay, Buttercup is back. She always joins the bump dates. For those who weren't watching in the beginning, she actually jumped up here and I'll say not photo bomb, video bombed me. Boss girl says sometimes I wish I had a sister. I used to really wish I had a sister. Most of the time I remember I have 3 brothers. And I don't know, like I'm kind of glad it worked out how it is now that I'm an adult. Like, my girl cousins, are good for the most part. Like, we get along, and I talk to some of them. I talk to a few times a week. So we've been pretty close. And I guess just now in my adult years, I realized like like I have three brothers. There are four of us, and only two of us are close. So like there's just no guarantees, and I pray that baby Joy Chaser and this baby girl will be close, and that they could always be close. But I don't know. Who knows how things go, right? Family dynamics are interesting. So speaking of this baby girl, you guys have to help me come up with what we're gonna call her online. People were asking me on Instagram and Facebook, what's her moniker? I feel like I can't talk tonight. Moniker. What's her moniker gonna be? So he is baby Joy Chaser. I don't know if she's gonna be like baby girl Joy or Joy girl. Like I don't know. What do you guys think? You gotta let me know. Like in the chat if you guys have ideas, or whoever watches this later can put in the comments what they think we should call her, because you guys, I'm not going to share the real name online, or like the government name I should say. BJ says sorry for my loss, thank you. That her mom passed away when she was a teenager, and God brought the right people in her life during her daughter's birth. Yeah, I mean, it's interesting. It's been interesting to see, especially with the pandemic. A lot of, I won't say a lot of people, but when I was pregnant, certain people were really adamant about how involved they were going to be, to the point where it almost felt overwhelming. And then COVID hit, and it was like, see ya. And I get it. Everybody, had to take their precautions as necessary, but it definitely, I think, showed me where I rank, or showed me where we rank, our family ranks. And then other people, I guess I'll say, felt we were worth the risk to be part of our little bubble and to still help me when so many kind of resources and supports went away. So it's been interesting. But I know, like my aunt coming, and like she said, oh, she feels like this, she thinks of my son like a grandchild. And this is my dad's sister, so this is her great nephew or grand nephew. It's interesting. It has definitely been interesting. Who God brings in your life and who God removes from your life. So I'm one where I have learned to not push relationships, whether they're friendships, family ships, you know, relationships, any ships. I don't push them. So if people seem to fade out, I'll allow it. If they fade back in, I'll allow it, and I'll just assume that, it's God moving people out the way when they need to be out the way. I mean, and unless they do, like, I'm not one to cut people off permanently. There's really only one friend that I absolutely kind of cut off at the beginning of this, when I said I was going to have a baby by myself, and they were extremely critical and insulting and all that. Other than that, like, unless somebody really actually does something to me, which most people, like, I've been blessed, haven't really come for me like that. But if they seem to fade off, like, all right, you fade off, I fade off. I know where we stand for now. If they come back around, okay. I just chalk it up to God moving people in and out of my life as needs to happen. So it's definitely been interesting. But that's great that people showed up for you when you needed it. So, Bossa Girl, your mom said that there was a lot of military men there. So that's where my base differs, right? Remember I said it's a small base. My base is 90% civilians who work there, because we provide support functions for the military. So there's not a lot of military men there, and No offense if you're an old white man, but I felt like the majority of the people who work there were old white men. That has changed that I moved to the agency that I'm at now, still on the same base. It's much more diverse. But definitely not like for a black woman in my at least for me, definitely wasn't like, yeah, I got my pick of the litter here. There has been maybe two guys, and I have worked basically on that base for 20 years since right out of college. Yeah, 20 years, and it'll be 20 years in September.
Mommy.
Yes.
Wow, that's a big clubhouse.
That is a big clubhouse. Mickey Mouse's clubhouse is really big, y'all.
Yeah, it's strong to lift the clouds.
Yes, it is strong. Strong enough to lift clouds.
Look at that parachute. It's very strong.
But yeah, in the 20 years that I worked there may have been two men that I was like kind of interested in, and nothing popped off with either. so, so your mom was lucky where that was her experience. Maybe I need to move to another base. um. JB says she wishes she had a sister sometime. She's the only child, and so is her kid. Boss Girl says she's the only child. Her mom had a twin sister that had three children at the same. Wait, my mom had a twin sister, had their three children at the same time. So between the sister and my grandmother, child care was covered. Yeah. My daughter is autistic, special needs, child care. I know I can't afford. Yeah. Yeah, that's an even bigger challenge, right? Because then not only like trusting somebody to be there with her who understands her unique challenges, um, but then you have to be comfortable with them too. That's even harder to come by. So my brother is a pastor, but he has just started his church, so there's not many people yet. Yes, yes.
Her name is Minnie.
I see. Her name is Minnie the Mouse. Yes, I see Minnie the Mouse. Yeah, my brother is just starting his church, so it's not many people there. And then he started it, then COVID hit, so he's been largely online. So I share, for those who follow me, if you follow I don't know how many people follow my personal page because I don't really put that out there like that, but I do share his church service every Sunday. Oh, Baby Blessing. That's cute. Baby Joy Chaser and Baby Blessing. Are you always this calm? That's because my hormones were off the chain while I was yeah, I'm pretty calm by nature. I have my moments, obviously. I'm Baby Joy Chaser. You know, he could probably say like, mommy got upset this day or whatever. But most of the time I'm pretty calm, pretty even kill. I don't know if that's a good thing because like I was mentioned earlier in the video, I definitely eat my feelings and my emotions. So I probably should express them more. And I'm not sure which hormones you're talking about being off the chain while pregnant. But I don't know, I felt pretty even kill. Like I'm trying to not kind of go down some rabbit holes that'll help me spin out. Like I don't want to call it a nightmare, but like I had a dream about Baby Joy Chaser being at my brother's house while I was having the baby and him being like really sad and upset there. And so I woke up really upset because I feel very stressed about that. Like I've never been away from him for more than say like 18 hours. Like I've spent the night away from him 3 times. Once he went to my brother's a few years ago. He was probably like 1.5. And then 2 times my cousin has come and spent the night here, and I took like a mommy break and went to a hotel overnight. But it wasn't even a whole 24 hours. So however long I end up in the hospital will be the longest I've been away from him. So when I think about that, that can make me get really sad. So I've tried to not think about it too much. But then I had that dream, and so that dream told me that I'm gonna tell my brother and my sister-in-law, like when I'm in the hospital, don't tell me anything bad. Like if he's having a hard time, like I can't know that then because it's gonna mess with my mind too much. Just tell me he's fine. Like I know that they will take care of him. Like my brother and her, between the two of them, there are 6 kids. Like I know he'll be fine. Emotionally, he might be sad or something, missing me, or their houses run different than my house. So he might be overwhelmed, but I basically be like, y'all got to keep that to yourself, because if I know it, it's gonna mess me up too much. It's gonna make me too upset, and sad. If I was a different kind of woman, who maybe, like if I had a desire for like a home birth and like a drug-free delivery, I understand why people are like, just bring the stuff here. Because if I could do that and like not have to send him away, um I would. But that's not me, y'all. Like I want a hospital because I want anything to go wrong. I want them to be able to help me, help the baby, and I want the drugs. I'm not about pain. I don't feel like I need to experience every pain of childbirth when we have medicine available to make it not as unpleasant. So, but I get that urge now that I have him. So that kind of gets to me, just the idea how long I'm gonna have to be away from him. That makes me pretty sad. And then just like, it is kind of like a little bit of a grieving process, because like we've been this just mom and baby family for all these years, and now it's gonna be 3 of us. So it's definitely gonna be a different dynamic. But I just try to focus on the positive. I think the paint will work. So that's interesting too. Today we kind of had our first conversation about how the rules in our house are the rules in our house. Because we were coming home from daycare, and he said, when the baby comes, I'm not going to be able to sleep in your bed. And he does not sleep in my bed anyway, not all night. In the last few months, he's wanted to be in my bed. So like, for example, tonight or like tomorrow, when it's not a school night, I'll say, okay, fine, you can lay in my bed. And he'll lay in the bed with me and we'll read a book, and then he'll watch like Daniel Tiger in my bed. And then most of the time he falls asleep. And then I will wake him up a little bit and walk him to his room. Especially now that I'm like pregnant. Earlier I would pick him up sometimes and carry him, but he's getting heavy. But he doesn't sleep in there all night. And now he'll wake up in the morning on the weekend, and he'll come, and if it's too early, I'll be like, lay down, and he'll get in bed with me and go back to sleep for a couple hours. That's not going to change when the baby comes. Like, he'll just maybe be on the other side, and I might be in the middle. But the teacher, apparently one of the teachers, I was like, why do you think you're not going to be able to do that? And then he was like, Miss So-and-so said that when the baby comes, I can't sleep in your bed. So I was like, well, Miss So-and-so does not make the rules for our house. So Miss So-and-so makes the rules for school, and we follow the school rules. But mommy makes the rules for our house. And then he's so funny because then he says, and I make the rules for the slide. I said, yes, you make the rules for your slide. And he says, and Buttercup makes the rules for cats. So I'm like, yes, Buttercup makes the rules for cats. I think he got it, but just explain to him like, yeah. So then I was like, things are going to change when you come in there. The baby's going to be in there. So there'll be 3 of us, but you can still come in. So just like, sometimes it's a little overwhelming to think about all the things that are going to be different. But I know it'll be fine. So I just try not to dwell on that stuff, because then you can kind of go down the whole rabbit hole of being sad about things that, don't have to be that sad. Let's see. I don't know. Other hormones. I don't know. I think mostly just work has been the biggest stressor, and I've definitely um I feel like I had a bigger stress at the beginning with the pandemic when there was no daycare. When I was working full time and he was here full time every day, all day with no breaks. I think that was the most stressed that I had ever been, and I did have to still go back to therapy during that time. So now that daycare is back, things feel much more manageable. So I think that might be why I haven't felt too overwhelmed. The most thing I feel right now is like I feel like I just be tired and I'm like, oh, I have so much stuff to do because I need to get like I've been washing baby clothes, but I need to organize them. I need to organize the things that I've purchased. So I did buy like some diapers. I told y'all some hair bows and stuff. Today, I'm gonna have to take pictures or something to show you guys, but I bought matching outfits, which I was so excited about. I went to Target. I didn't even go there for this. And they had a section in the front where it was like the family matching outfits. And they had everything in one space. So I was able to find a dress in my size and some shorts that match same pattern that are in his size and a romper that hopefully will be in the baby size. I don't know how big or little she's gonna be, but I was thinking like toward the end of summer and we could all match, and I got two of those, and that made me feel really happy. Like, oh, this is gonna be so cute. We'll have to like take pictures or something somewhere, and I plan to do that until they get old enough to tell me they don't want to do it. To be like, I don't want to dress like you, or I don't want to dress like each other, but I'll get away with all those like cheesy mom things until I can. But I mostly just feel like, oh, I gotta get together. But like I said, at least I have a place for her to sleep that's ready, and I have the car seat that's ready, and I have the breast pump. So, and I have Amazon Prime. So, even though Prime isn't as good as it used to be, some things don't really come the next day as planned. But the bare essentials are together. So anything else will just be like some bonuses. So but anyway, I already been talking way longer than I thought. Thank you guys for joining and your questions and stuff. I know Tamika TCC, she be on these lives and she be on there for a couple hours. Her and Simply Tanika. So I'm like, I'm like, I don't have that much to talk about, but then here I am on here for over an hour. JB says it definitely will be just fine. Yes. And it'll be fun and more busy too. I hope it'll be fun. I hope I'm not overwhelmed by the busy. Um, but I do feel glad. I feel like this, you know, with this second baby, that the having children part of my family is complete. These children from my body. Because I don't want to be pregnant again after this. Um, I still hope to get married one day. Who knows if and when that will happen. Um, so, I'm not going to say my family's complete because I still have that desire. Um, but it feels good to be kind of, that this is actually happening. Especially, I think once you've gone through any kind of infertility journey, I don't think you're ever over it, even though this second baby happened on the first shot. Like, who would ever would have thought? But it still just feels like such a blessing and kind of surreal that like I got one kid, like I'm actually gonna have another one, and it's a girl. Like I get to have one of each. Like that just seems so amazing. And I feel very just grateful and blessed about it. So, but you just kind of never get over it. Like, so definitely feels surreal. And I do feel very happy that this is happening. So 10 weeks, less than 10 weeks ago, I'm praying for 8 more weeks. That's my prayer. So y'all can join me in praying that Arlette will go into labor. I actually have a day on my calendar because I'm getting my hair done. My last day of work is the 16th. That's a Thursday. I'm getting my hair done on the 19th. I'm getting it braided. So anytime after the 19th, I would like the baby to come. So that's what I'm praying for. And I know it sounds silly, but I'll tell you with that, when I had the IVF, and I'm a big component of prayer, I will preach and talk prayer forever. But when I was going to go through that IVF and I asked that doctor what would be the best outcome in terms of like how many eggs, and she said, well, ideally we want 14 eggs. And I prayed for 14 eggs, and I had 14 eggs when they did that IVF. And those 14 eggs resulted in 5 embryos, and baby Joy Chaser was the 3rd, and this one is the 4th. So I know that prayer works, and I know it feels silly to pray for, some specific things. And I don't have a whole lot of like testimony type stuff, but I definitely prayed for those 14 eggs for IVF, and that's how it worked out. So anyway, my alarm just went off, reminding me it's time to take my blood sugar 2 hours after dinner. So hopefully I get a decent number. So I'm gonna sign off now. Thank you guys for watching. Oh, let me see if I can give you a bump shot. Hopefully let me see if I can go to my bathroom. Baby Joy Chaser was the last person in there. I need to do a potty training update because he's finally gotten it, y'all. Like, he actually goes by himself, but sometimes it might be soap and stuff everywhere, or if he was in here playing. Okay, it's not too bad. So let me show you guys what the bump looks like, and then I will sign up. So that's from the front. She's sticking out there, but you see, kind of low. Then from the side, and most of the movement I feel is way down here. Like, her head's down here, and I can't feel it right now, but sometimes I can feel a lump. Like, usually over here will be like, I guess, her feet or her butt. I guess depending on how she's curled up. But that's what I'm looking like. 30 weeks. So anyway, thank you guys for watching, for chatting with me on the live. Oh, thank you. Yeah. JB says cute bump. She's getting ready. Oh, well, they kind of stuck back there. Now, you want to say bye to the people with me?
No, I'm gonna get my glasses out.
Oh, you can't go back there right now. Buster Girl says, keep hope alive. Oh, wait. I made the chat go away. Hold on. She says, keep hope alive. The plumber hit on her today. You never know. And she needs to lose a lot of weight to get her sexy back. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, oh my gosh, it's gonna be a whole separate video about.
Wait. We all agree. His name is Goofy the Great.
Goofy the Great. Sit down.
Yeah.
I could do a whole separate video on weight issues.
Look on the other side of the house. Oh, wait, on the other side of the house.
Hey, T.
Do you see something in the house?
You made the live, but I'm just about to log off because I have to check my blood sugar.
Let me try.
You want to try? Go ahead. You can talk. What you want to talk about?
You kind of agree about making everyone have not even having a turn about letting a teacher having hair on their bottoms or in their butt or on their hands.
What are you talking about?
I'm talking
You talking about something about your butt? What?
A butt, maybe. Allergy. Goofy the Great might be a little allergy.
Hi, Mrs. Living Hope.
Maybe about
Say hi. People are saying hi to you.
Hi, people. Today we're going to
Why don't you sit up?
athlete magically appear bunk.
Listen, what do you think
Goofy
about?
the Great.
What do you think about little sister coming?
Out.
What do you think? No, don't touch anything.
I'm gonna think about
No.
what the rope is.
Don't touch the camera. You're going to shut it off. What do you think about baby sister coming?
Because I need to watch.
Baby in the tummy.
Because I need to watch Mickey Mouse with my shoe.
You need to watch Mickey Mouse with your shoes. I'm asking you a question.
No.
You don't want
Put it back on.
You don't want to talk about it?
No. No thanks to.
No, thank you. Stop touching. You're going to hang up on the people. You're going to exit out. They said you're so cute. Say thank you.
Thank you, people.
All right. Say see you next time. So next time you see the people, you're going to be 4. Because your birthday is coming. Why don't you sit up? You're going to be 4 years old.
But I'm going to get so
He's getting a remote so I can fix the TV. What do you think about turning 4? Are you ready?
No!
No, you're not ready? You're not ready to turn 4?
No!
And you getting your big boy bed? What kind of bed are you getting? What's it called? Do you remember?
The bunk bed!
Yeah, bunk bed.
Oh.
All right, y'all. Thanks for watching. I'm going to go back and add the baby registries to the description for this video for those that asked. Thank you. And maybe I'll just do lives. Like I said, I haven't, felt up to doing a lot of videos. Not because I don't want to be a camera, but just like, I don't feel like setting it up. And then, like, that I actually, have on decent clothes today and all that. So maybe I'll just be doing some lives. But I'm trying to keep y'all in the loop. So keep us in prayer as this is winding down. Have a good night. Bye.
I'm upside down. Bye. But I'm upside down, neighbor. Bye. No. I'm